Hi Ace family. Today we're going to go over the galvanized fittings that we have in the store, so you have all the information that we need to go ahead and help our customers. So the first section here, I just want to explain the organization. Everybody kind of has to put everything together a little bit differently based on what they need, but I just want to make sure you know how everything's organized so you can very expertly just grab the right item out of the right bin every time. So on the very top shelf, everything is 1/4 inch. The next one is 3/8. Then we go to half, 3/4, 1 inch, inch and a quarter, inch and a half, and then 2 inches on the very bottom. So as we go down, we get bigger, and everything that we're talking about right here is going to be regular pipe thread. There's no compression or flare ends or anything. All of this stuff is pipe thread. Just so you have that. So the first section here that we have, these are all of the nipples, and nipples are lengths of pipe from the absolute shortest up to 12 inches. For whatever reason, when you get above 12 inches, they start calling them pipe. And those lengths of pipe, whether it's 18 inches, 2 foot, 3 foot, they're on the end of the shelf. So that if the customer does need something longer, and then we've got some longer lengths in the back next to the PVC sticks, of course. But anyway, all the nipples are going to be threaded on both ends and just mail on here. They're 1/4 inch all the way down to 2 inches, and there's everything from 1/2 inch all the way up to 12 inches on the bigger sizes. When you go with the smaller sizes like 3/8 and a quarter, we go up to 6 inches. But the main thing with the nipples is when you get to the very smallest nipple, and I guess I should say the very shortest, it is completely threaded all the way, and this is called a close nipple. When you get a little bit longer, it's not going to be threaded in the middle. It's going to have a dead space. Close nipple is just basically threaded all the way. It's the absolute shortest it can go. So moving on to the next section, now that we've got all the nipples taken care of, these are the fittings to put everything together, and they're organized the same way. We have the 1/4 inch on the top and the 2 inch on the bottom and everything else in between. We try to have everything organized so that the same parts all the way down. So the couplers are kind of in the first spot, then we've got some pipe straps, and we just try to make it go even. Now, because of sizing issues, we may have to shift some stuff, but that's what we attempt to do just to make it easy. So I'll just grab some of these from the bin to point out some of the parts. This first one is female by female. This is a coupler or a coupling. Just certain people call it different things, but it puts two pieces of pipe together. We've got 2-hole pipe straps for the next bin. And something important with the pipe straps, if we are out in this section, we do have more in the electrical section. And also in electrical, these are 2-hole pipe straps. We have single-hole pipe straps in there too, just to give the customer some options. The next part we have here is a union, and unions are used if you have two stiff pieces of pipe together that you have to screw together when you can't twist those, so you have to have something in the middle to be able to twist them together. Then we've got a plug. Remember, plugs are male threads, caps have female threads. So we've got the plug, the male thread, female threads are right next to it. And then we go to like a pipe flange. These can be common when someone's building something, whether it's a handrail or a light fixture, something decorative. Most common pipe, a handrail or something like that. It's just got a female end and then a way to fasten it to something, usually a wall. We get into T. Some of these can have reducing T's where it might be a smaller size on top, but T's are a 3-way female. And then we have elbows. Again, we can have some reducing elbows in here. Then we get into street elbows. Street elbows are female on one side, male on the other. This one in particular is a 45-degree elbow, and then this is a 90-degree street elbow. So 45-degree street elbow, 90-degree street elbow. And then we have 45-degree regular elbow, female to female. And then the rest of these, kind of on the end, we have some adapter parts to go to different sizes. So in the middle here, when we kind of get towards the end, we have bushings and we have reducers, and those both adapt to different sizes. The bushings have the larger side, so if you're going from 3/4 inch to half, the larger side is going to be 3/4 inch. If we're talking a bushing, that will always be male. And then the 1/2 inch side will be female, because it will fit inside of that part and make sure that that we can adapt the right way. A reducer is female on both sides. So see if I can grab something big for the camera. So a bushing is always going to be male. The bigger side is going to be the bigger size, and then the female is going to be in the center so it can fit inside. Whereas if we go with a reducer is going to be female on both sides, even though one of them is bigger and one of them is smaller. So then we do have a few barb fittings, very basic, because plastic's a lot more popular in this area for these style of fittings, but we do have a few barb fittings on the end. But I'll let you kind of look around your own store's assortment on your time when you're walking around, and just make sure you have a good idea of where some of these parts are. So the last little section here, we are missing some name tags for some of the parts, but this last section is for black pipe. And black pipe is identical to the galvanized fittings, but black pipe is most commonly used with water. Galvanized fittings are commonly used with water. Black pipe is usually fuel, and fuel can be gas, diesel, propane, stuff like that. That's what's very common for the black pipe. It doesn't have to be that way. If we happen to be out of, let's say, a coupler and the galvanized, we can go ahead and use a coupler for black pipe. We can interchange those, and it's usually not a huge deal. Of course, it's up to the customer's preference and whatever they're comfortable with, but I just want to give you some ideas. There's very similar parts here compared to the galvanized fittings. They're just a black pipe fitting, but they do work with water, but especially gas and oil is their most common uses. They're organized just a hair differently. We carry 1/2 inch, 3/4, and 1 inch fittings for the black pipe, and the nipples are kind of on the top 2 or 3 shelves, and then we've got the rest of the fittings on the bottom. But all the rest of the fittings are identical to what we went over with the regular galvanized stuff before we got to the black pipe. So just to give you an idea, just to give you a comparison. Black pipe nipple versus a galvanized nipple, they've got the same threads, they're identical, just being able to get those together. So last thing I wanted to show you with the camera is we've got black pipe nipples, and we've got, this is pipe because it's greater than a foot. So black pipe, and then we've got galvanized pipe on the end. There's all sorts of different lengths we can pull out of the warehouse. If a customer's looking for something specific, by all means we can order quite a few sizes of those. So don't be afraid to check AceNet or ask the rest of us, ask your team. So anyway, thank you, and let us know if you have any questions.